in Fredericksburg, Pennsylvania. Though there are no pedestrians at this intersection, a crossing guard heading to a bus stop sees a car encroach on the crosswalk, triggering a standoff that quickly turns violent. When the guard blocks the encroaching vehicle, the car moves forward, and then the driver appears to punch, knocking the guard and his drink to the ground, with the cup thrown back in final retaliation. As the vehicle drives off, a woman comes out to check on the crossing guard. The guard is okay, but still fuming over the incident. According to police, both men declined to press charges and no arrests were made. But hopefully, they both have learned there are some lines they should never cross. In Taiwan, a security camera records the flow of traffic as a black car appears to cut in front of a white car, stopping it short. According to news reports, the driver of the black car believes that the other driver is dating his girlfriend. As the driver of the black car emerges, he appears to be holding a large bat. And after standing by the other driver's side window, confronting him for 20 seconds, things appear to heat up. But a few moments later, someone on a scooter pulls up. And though it seems like their appearance may have dissuaded him from any violence, that's apparently not the case. Because after an apparent quick word with the person on the scooter, he turns back to the other car, takes a moment, and then makes a very unwise decision, which he's about to pay for. And the white car's retaliation is apparently just getting started. After a total of 5 rammings, the white car takes off, followed shortly after by the heavily damaged black car. According to Taiwan news, police arrive on the scene a short time later and are able to track down and arrest both men, who are investigated for malicious mischief and offenses against public safety. A lesson hopefully learned. No matter how personally wronged one feels, resorting to violence in the streets is never a solution. In Edinburgh, Scotland, a frightening example of how a simple accusation could turn a minor run-in into a major altercation. A car's rear dash cam records as traffic slows, and then suddenly, almost immediately, the driver of the red van signals to pull over. And though it seems to be fairly routine at first, when the driver with the dash cam looks at his bumper, he appears to get angry.
You know?
And while the van driver is relatively calm,
Why are you getting upset about it? I'm all upset, don't worry.
his explanation
Mate, are you answering it? Slipped off the brake, okay?
is met with an insinuation.
What are you on the phone?
No, I wasn't on the phone.
It seems the van driver was holding what appears to be a plastic fork while he was driving, which from afar might have been mistaken by the driver who was rear-ended for a cell phone.
What are you on the phone?
No, I wasn't on the phone.
Okay, don't.
No, you so I did you. But I'll fuck you right now, right? You stop. You. Right, look. Just like the bitch that just.
The van driver grabs the other man's neck from behind. And in the ensuing struggle, the plastic fork in his left hand appears to graze the other driver's face before he's thrown to the ground.
Right, look. Just like the.
The visibly shaken victim calls the police.
Hello, I did an accident. I was hit by a driver and I was assaulted.
Tell them the truth that you stuck your face in my face. Tell the truth, you yeah. Tell the truth.
According to news reports, the van driver eventually pleads guilty to an assault charge and is ordered to pay a 240-pound fine, as well as 400 pounds to the victim. A powerful lesson that though reacting to a stressful situation is normal, leave the accusations to the police.
What are you on the phone?
No, I wasn't on the phone.
Because you never know who you're dealing with. In Forest Lake, Minnesota, during the morning commute on Interstate 35, a traffic camera records a pickup truck, which according to reports, had recently hit a deer and is now stalled out in the middle lane. The driver, who is now standing behind the guardrail, presumably waiting for authorities to arrive, reportedly made a run for it when the vehicle stalled, leaving the driver's side door wide open. So far, motorists have been able to bypass the roadblock. But the longer it stays this way, the more likely it is someone will hit it. Moments later, a passing motorist attempts to help, putting both his car and himself at risk. Then, apparently spotting the truck's driver, he unwisely crosses 4 lanes of traffic to get to them. And while the motorist seems to have made the stalled pickup truck a little less dangerous by closing its door, it isn't quite enough. A semi-truck, seemingly unable to react in time, slams into the stalled vehicle, sending it careening off the side of the road, nearly avoiding another oncoming truck and bursting into flames, just feet away from some bystanders. A short time later, emergency services arrive on the scene. Thankfully, the driver of the semi that slammed into the pickup escapes unharmed. And according to news reports, though the pickup truck is destroyed, no one is injured. Proof once again that any stalled vehicle on a fast-moving roadway is a disaster waiting to happen. In Florida, a woman's dash cam records as she passes an SUV on a suburban road. And though the pass occurs during the dashed yellow lines and appears to be legal, it apparently doesn't sit well with the other driver. Because at the red light just ahead, the SUV driver pulls up and speaks her mind.
You are a hillbilly! I'm a hillbilly? How do you get butthurt? With a hillbilly! Yeah, I passed you! Get over it! Why do you get so butthurt? Learn how to drive!
Sound advice, which the driver recording will now have to consider for herself, as the SUV driver passes her.
You're on camera! You're on camera, bitch! I passed you! Get over it! Yeah, go yourself!
The addition of the obscene hand gesture seems to up the ante even more.
I'll play. I'll play with you. Real good, bitch.
And at the next stop, the driver recording tosses out a retaliation.
Yeah, you wanna play? Come on, bitch! Let's play! Huh? Let's play! We can do this! Let's do it! Huh? Let's go! Huh? Come on, bitch! Let's go! I'll play up! Hey!
The SUV driver seems to ignore her taunts until suddenly
You stupid
a possible brake check causing the driver behind to pass the SUV once again. This time over the solid yellow lines, which seems to finally bring the one-upmanship to an end. But not the name-calling, which the SUV driver launches into one last time from behind.
Yeah! You hunger! You're the one from Florida, hillbilly! Yep!
In the end, though there are no winners here, at least they found some common ground.
You are a hillbilly! I'm a hillbilly! Learn how to drive!
East Lansing, Michigan. A biker records a casual evening cruise after work. And as he pulls up to a group of cars at a red light, he filters ahead of a driver in the left lane. About 10 seconds later, that driver runs the light. But the rider appears unaffected and continues to the next intersection, where he acknowledges another biker, and just a few seconds later, gets a greeting of his own. From the driver of the silver car that just ran the light.
Have a wonderful day. I love you. Go. Come on, go. You're open traffic.
As both bikers shrug him off, the driver makes an illegal left turn against the light and dangerously pulls into oncoming lanes of the cross street.
He's out of his mind, dude. I'm gonna stay away from that guy.
But despite the biker's very wise decision to stay away from the driver, as he makes the same turn just moments later, it becomes clear that the driver has chosen otherwise. Fortunately, the biker sees the man coming and swerves just in time. But now, stunned by the sudden ambush, the biker U-turns and makes the risky choice to follow the driver and get his license plate. And as he's led down a side street, he sees that the driver now appears to be following the other biker, who takes a quick left down a sidewalk. And when the first biker follows,
Say hi.
the driver appears to strike him. But he pulls away unharmed. And catches up to the other biker who was watching from afar.
He was in a hurry before that. I don't know what that was about, man. People.
After some commiseration,
That's one of the more weird experiences I've ever had on a bike.
Yeah, same. I was like, what the f are they doing?
the biker shakes it off. Until the silver sedan blasts from a side street, just missing the biker, who then speeds away and squeezes through some barriers to put more than just distance between him and his apparent pursuer. Then, as he keeps watch for the driver, he spots some police officers up ahead.
I am being chased down by a man who just hit me in my bag.
A man that hit you in your back?
Yes, ma'am.
Like in a vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. He was right over there.
The driver is apparently coming at him once again.
He's coming down here right now.
And just 30 seconds later,
Here, I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. Look at him lying. Look at him lying. Look at him lying. Break him up.
the man brushes past both officers and appears to take a swing, apparently sending the biker's camera flying as the officers jump in and take control. According to police documents, the driver is handcuffed and escorted to jail. But despite the biker's harrowing experience, he later decides to drop the charges, which hopefully helps the driver to understand that others' behavior on the road, legal or otherwise, should never be taken personally.